They get Dwayne Morgan, a 6'8" transfer eligible, but boy, they have just misfired here the last 2 weeks.
You saw Dwayne Morgan step into the center circle for the opening tap, which is controlled by Northern Arizona. Morgan wears 25 for the Thunderbirds in white, and he just got the steal, and we're going to go the other way. He's a difference maker, not just for Southern Utah, but he could be a difference maker on how the conference season ends up playing out because he is so dynamic, and that's Brandon Better on cue. We talked about him in the open, hitting a three-pointer to give the Thunderbirds the lead.
Brandon Better had only started one time in the previous 14 games. They were playing without James McGee, a 1,000-point scorer, and a kid who's played over 100 games for SUU. Brandon Better getting the call off of the bench.
James McGee under the weather, so not going to play today, and a chance for a three-point play on the Lumberjacks end. Isaiah Thomas gets the basket, and the foul is called on Cohee of Southern Utah.
Nice post move there by Thomas. Cohee starting the game with a three-point shot. Cohee coming off a 25-point game at Weber State. As we called him instant offense off the bench, he's in the starting lineup tonight.
James Cohee, I beg your pardon, Jaden Cohee with the basketball. Dre Marin on the floor, number 4. Ivan Madunic. And we mentioned Dwayne Morgan earlier. This is Morgan with the basketball. Strong to the hole, laying it up and in.
Nice set play there. Southern Utah set a double staggered back screen. That meaning one back screen followed by a second back screen to bring him to the block to get him a catch. That's a nice call from the bench.
Torrey Johnson, Corey Brown, Gino Littles, Chris Bowling, and Isaiah Thomas, the starting 5 for Northern Arizona in the navy blue trimmed in gold.
Northern Arizona shaking their starting lineup up a little bit tonight.
And a three-pointer good by Jaden Cohee. That's his 20th of the season.
Now that's really frustrating for a coach. That came after a made shot at the other end, and your team comes down and doesn't get matched up and leaves a player wide open at the three-point line. I used to tell my guys there's 5 of them, 5 of us. There's one out there for everybody.
Gino Littles misses, just one chance at it for the Lumberjacks, and a three-pointer rolls around and out off the hand of Brandon Better, and back we go the other way.
Better is not shy about shooting. Boy, he towed that three-point line in transition and let that one fly.
There's a good one, too, 39% from behind the arc on the season. This is Corey Brown turning and rolling that in. And the early lead to 4.
Corey Brown has played every game with 3 starts, getting kind of a surprise start tonight, coming off a pretty respectable game, 8 points, 9 rebounds. Both teams just lighting it up early here in the game.
Dwayne, so he's averaged 19 points per game. This is his 5th game since becoming eligible for Southern Utah. It's quite a story. Morgan, number 25, is a former 5-star recruit out of Baltimore. Found his way to UNLV. And there his defense helps turn over the ball. The head of the pack is Cohee, and he softly dunks it in.
I like Northern Arizona's intent of pounding the ball inside. They just have to hold on to it.
December, and he transferred to Southern Utah because of a long-standing relationship with Todd Simon, who had been an assistant coach at UNLV. The two reconnected. He did his schoolwork, got his degree, and then transferred as a graduate transfer to Southern Utah, became eligible, and since then, he has been a major impact player. As I said, averaging 19 points per game. He alone could have an impact on the entire conference race if Southern Utah gets some momentum.
Well, you saw his versatility already in this game, scoring it once from the block and then hitting a three-point shot. He'll be a tough matchup for virtually anyone in the Big Sky.
And, oh, by the way, he's a graduate transfer, and there's a foul. That's called on Northern Arizona. Dwayne Morgan has this semester as well as next year.
He didn't score a point in their last game. 0 for 4 from the floor. Has not made one go in so far yet tonight. Well, Dwayne Morgan got here so late, he wasn't even in the team pictures. I looked at their media guy. Better late than never, though, for Coach Todd Simon. He is a terrific, talented pickup.
Brandon Better with the basketball. Now Jaden Cohee. Christian Musoko has come into the game, number 34 for Southern Utah. as has James Aites, a transfer from BYU who just missed a shot.
Two big, strong bodies inside for Southern Utah.
12-4 the lead for Southern Utah. Strong move to the hole by Torrey Johnson, and a pair of Thunderbirds collapsed on him. That's a pick'em foul, and it's going to go against Musoko of Southern game, so they can put some big numbers on the board, but the Thunderbirds also give up 86 per game. At the free throw line after the timeout, Torrey Johnson, a 74% foul shooter. Chicago native, makes the first of the two. Northern Arizona averages just 65 points per game, and they give up nearly 80. They do not want to get in a track meet with the Thunderbirds.
They only shoot 39% from the floor, 30% from the three, so they've really had shooting and scoring issues. See, Northern Arizona with a little three-quarter court press there. And both teams have been very, very turnover prone. Gino Littles for NAU, the only player on their team to have more assists than turnovers. And in conference play, the SUU guards have 18 more turnovers than they have baskets. So it's been really a challenge on both sides tonight of holding on to the ball and be efficient with their ball handling.
Floater missed, rebound to Isaiah Thomas. He puts it back up and in, and he'll go back to the free throw line. Count the basket, and the foul is called on
Isaiah Thomas. A nice two-handed rebound going up strong. A kid that only averages 6 points, already with 4, and his second trip to the free throw line. 6'9" junior out of Oakland, California.
Jay Marin comes back onto the floor for Southern Utah. The foul was on number 5, Jordan Lyons. And the free throw good by Isaiah Thomas. And the lead that was 8 is down to 3, 12-9.
Here's that little press that it's more or less to tempo the game. But if you dribble it straight across like Cohee just did and don't get rid of it, they'll trap you right there along that baseline.
Getting it inside to Morgan. He was bothered on the shot, and it's collected by Brooks DeBishop.
Morgan was bumped there, but he's got to be a little tougher than that to complete that play.
Bowling misses, one chance at it, and here come the Thunderbirds. 5 minutes gone by in this Big Sky Conference game. Northern Arizona in the dark uniforms, and Southern Utah with the basketball. Musoko. And now Cohee going to pull the trigger and hit the three.
Cohee was the team's leading scorer and is still the team's leading scorer in terms of total points. But in terms of average, with Dwayne Morgan coming aboard, now that gives them 2 real legitimate scoring threats each and every night.
Now, how difficult is that to get somebody like Dwayne Morgan acclimated into a team at this point in the season, especially somebody, as Morgan pulls down the rebound, who's not even been around for a while? It's one thing to have a graduate transfer or somebody sitting out for a semester, but at least they've been in the program. He just got here a month ago.
Well, it's been surprising, as I said. SUU had won 4 out of 5 and beat some good teams before they start conference play, and all of a sudden they get a 5-star recruit eligible. I think that speaks of team chemistry and the paradigm of the team kind of shifting a little bit, because they've got, as I said, 2 legitimate scorers in Cohee and Morgan, and yet they've lost 5 in a row.
Shot clock winding down to 3, and DeBishop gets the basket.
Really nice score by DeBishop, the 7th leading scorer in the league, but that was a high level of difficulty there, coming to a jump stop and doing a 180 to make that one go in.
Southern Utah needing Aites to break the press, and that's not the guy they want handling the basketball.
No, I'm not sure that's the right formula there, having a guy 6'8", 245 out there handling the ball for you. Right there is where you want Aites.
Yeah, the BYU transfer scores with 4 seconds on the shot clock.
That's what you call knowing where your bread's buttered. Give it to me here real close to the basket, and let me go up real strong. Aites having 18 and 4 rebounds against Weber State last Saturday.
Bowling missed the 3, but he gets the steal and then gives it off to Gino Littles. Reverse layup is blocked, and Bowling got the rebound. It's knocked out of his hands, but the Lumberjacks will maintain possession. So some good hustle on both ends of the floor, creating turn. Well, we're having some trouble getting these guys lined up for this inbounds play, and finally the officials restore some order. Three-pointer no good, and the rebound to Jacob Calloway, who came in. Carlos Hines just missed the shot. He's in off the Lumberjacks bench. This is Morgan spinning and scoring.
See, Morgan likes to catch that ball a couple steps off the low block. I'm kind of an old school guy. I'd like to see him get down and stride that low block, but he seems to be pretty comfortable catching it in a post-up position about 8 feet from the basket and then using his quickness and athleticism.
Ball tapped out of bounds, and it'll remain in possession of the Lumberjacks. Get more 11 Sports Daily by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at 11 Sports USA. Find out what events are coming up, information about teams and players, and what games will be streaming live on different social media sites. Follow 11 Sports USA now. Back up to an 8-point advantage for Southern Utah. 8 minutes gone by. Linnell Henry gets the basket off the bench for the Lumberjacks.
Linnell Henry's the fourth kid on this Northern Arizona squad from the Chicago area, but his playing time has just started increasing more and more. At 6'8", 205, just a freshman.
Morgan, hard to the glass, and he draws some contact. He's got a chance at a three-point play. And that whistle will take us to a timeout, so Morgan will be played since UNLV played at Duke in December of 2016. So he'd been off for a year until returning to the court with Southern Utah. And he completes the three-point play after the timeout. He has 9 in the game, and it's a 9-point lead.
Southern Utah coming with what coaches call a hard first trap press there with him on the ball, again trying to take advantage of his length and quickness. Nice individual defense by Morgan there.
Corey Brown comes up short. Linnell Harris battled for the rebound, but it's Dre Marin who has it for Southern Utah.
I say, for my money, Cohee shouldn't have called for that ball screen. He should have reversed the ball. You want it to, especially when you first get it down the floor, get that ball reversed as quickly as you can. That looked a little bit NBA-ish to me.
Carl Harris hits a three on the other end. Big basket for Northern Arizona, cutting that lead to 22-16. Harris off the bench. Another Chicago native for Northern Arizona. They've done very well.
He came by way of, Bill, he came by way of Indian Hills Community College.
Ivan Madunic, a sophomore from Split, Croatia, with the basket for the Thunderbirds, and it's back up to a 9-point lead.
He's a little bit of an oddity. You're not going to find many 6'11 guys who lead their team in three-point field goal percentage. He had 2 against Weber State, usually coming off a pick and pop. That time it came off a transition.
Nice move by Corey Brown to get some separation from Marin. He drew the contact, nearly got the basket, but he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Brown, a junior from Hollywood, Florida. Definite height advantage over Marin. 6'8", over shooting over 5'11", as you take a look at Marin, the freshman from Glendale, Arizona.
Marin played for his father at Apollo High School, and there's another outstanding freshman at Portland State who also played in that backcourt, Holland Boo Boo Woods, who's kind of leading the charge there for the upstart Portland State Vikings. That had to be quite a backcourt with those 2 kids in.
1 of 2 that trip for Corey Brown. 25-17 halfway through the first half. Better had it poked away, collects it, and now needs some help. Ivanovic.
Morgan out of the game now, getting a little bit of a breather. He and Cohee with 8 apiece for the Thunderbirds.
And that's Marin, who's sent to the floor by Harris. His second personal foul, and the third team foul on Northern Arizona.
I would say Marin did a pretty good job of selling that. I think he did get fouled, but again, I think he got his money's worth on that foul.
So Harris exits, and Torrey Johnson comes in for Northern Arizona. Cohee inbounds it to Marin. Good ball movement And in and out on that three-point try. Eights battles three Lumberjacks, and he's the last one to touch it. It's Northern Arizona basketball.
As you said, that was good ball movement. Remember, I was kind of critical of Cohee a couple possessions ago, not reversing the ball, letting it stick in his hands. He was the guy that time who got that ball reversed and did a nice job of getting it turned around the horn.
Torrey Johnson misses. There's contact off the miss. And that's a foul that's going to go against Northern Arizona. It looks like against Linnell Henry, and it is. That's the fourth team foul on Northern Arizona in the half.
Well, Linnell Henry must have got pretty good leverage on that one. At 2:05, he knocked Jamal Eights at 2:40 all the way to the floor. That takes again, either good leverage or a pretty good shot there. Eights is a big old strong kid.
Better from long range off the mark, and another whistle off a miss as Eights goes to the floor, and that foul is going to go against
Isaiah Thomas, I think.
Well, it's going to go against Eights of Southern Utah off that miss, so it's a whistle against the Thunderbirds. 11 Sports is proud to announce a partnership with the NBA G League to air up to 120 regular season games. Our G League coverage began earlier this week and will continue throughout the season. That's right here on 11 Sports, your home for G League action.
A little cross screen, down screen set there by NAU to get JoJo Anderson a look at the basket. Cross screen, down screen, meaning a small cross screens for a big guy where you can't switch that, and then immediately receives a down screen. JoJo Anderson, their leading scorer, coming off an 11-point game in their loss at Idaho State. They've lost a couple of tough ones. A four-point game to Idaho State last Saturday. They lost in overtime to Montana State. Both these teams lost in close games to Montana State. As I said, every weekend you got a chance to play your way in or play your way out, and sometimes there's a lot of close games involved in that.
Well, Jack Murphy has said his last two Saturdays have been heartbreaking because of those close losses. You start winning a couple of those close games, and all of a sudden you get a lot of momentum, and maybe the wins might come a little bit easier. You certainly don't have the heartbreak to contend with.
Well, he's had some tough luck. 2 years ago, or 2014, his team won 23 games and was runner-up in the CIT. He's had injuries. He's had some kids leave his program. He's just had a lot of trouble kind of getting it back on track.
Now, that team lost to Evansville in the CIT championship game, and they really had it going. In Flagstaff, the place was filling up, and there was a real buzz about Lumberjack basketball.
Well, it's such a fine line. It can get away from you so easily. Just look at what North Dakota's going through this year. Last year, the belle of the ball going to the NCAA out of the Big Sky, winning the Big Sky regular season, the Big Sky conference tournament. They just won Thursday night to break an 8-game losing streak. I mean, it's a quick trip from the penthouse to the outhouse and vice versa in this league, brother.
Southern Utah has been able to maintain about that margin through the first 12 minutes, 27-20 right now. They've led by as many as 8 on a couple of occasions. Northern Arizona closed to within 3 after one of the media timeouts. Morgan back into the game, leaves it for Musoko. And now Cohee with the basketball, pushed outside, and a lob pass over to Better. It was kind of a shot that was blocked. Marin by himself misses as the shot clock winds down. And the rebound tapped around and finally picked up by Isaiah Thomas.
Both teams playing really, really hard.
And an offensive foul is called on JoJo Anderson. Dre Marin got back. This matchup, Thunderbirds have the basketball at home at the America First Event Center.
Well, Bill, I'd commented before the break how hard both teams are playing. I think it's been a pretty physical game and pretty well played. NAU with only 3 turnovers and Southern Utah with only 2 turnovers.
That shot blocked emphatically by Isaiah Thomas, his 20th block of the season. And
that's good alertness away from the ball. All legitimate blocks come from not the guy on the ball, but the guy one man removed from the guy on the ball, and that comes from being alert away from the ball, having stance and vision, the two keys to offside defense. For the Lumberjacks, their leading scorer, JoJo Anderson, nowhere to be found with 1 point so far.
Shot clock down to 10 seconds. Morgan through a double team, overshoots the hoop, and the rebound again tapped around. Morgan had a hand on it, but it's DeBishop of Northern Arizona who gets the possession for the Lumberjacks.
In about the last 5 or 6 minutes, Bill, NAU's made a pretty subtle adjustment in their defense. Every time Morgan catches it now with his back to the basket, they're coming with the other big guy to double team that. Monster defense is what coaches call that, when you go big to big to double team a post player.
Bowling missed. Here's Marin. A three-pointer from the corner. And the Arizona native knocks in the three, and the lead is as big as it's been all day, 30-20, the advantage for the Thunderbirds.
Some threes I don't like in transition, three-point shot attempts, I like that. When Marin was down there, had his feet set, was all ready to shoot that, and his teammate delivered it right on the money.
Morgan and Musoko battle for the rebound. Both lost it out of bounds to Northern Arizona.
Better was a nice pass. Look at the nice rhythm that Marin catches it in, holds his follow through again. Some threes I don't like in transition. That one was all rhythmic. Nice pass, nice catch, nice shot.
He struggled from behind the arc, Marin. He's only 24% on the season, and he nearly gets the steal. Hines is able to retrieve it, leaves it for his teammate Gino Littles, who fires in a three.
Gino Littles coming off his season high, 22 in their last game, is a graduate transfer from University of Texas, San Antonio. Nice veteran pickup by the Lumberjacks.
Jordan Lyons missed. Hines the other way, leaves it for no one in particular. It's recovered by Torrey Johnson.
I like the way you subtly stated that. Leaves it for, well, no one was there to receive that pass. This is a really nice pass, and I'm sorry, this is the wrong play. This came off of that near steal, and love the way Gino Littles holds his follow through and stays in his shot to bury that. He's the graduate transfer from Texas San Antonio.
Foul is called on Southern Utah. That's the 7th team foul of the half on the Thunderbirds. So Littles at the shot line shooting 1-and-1. Gino's the son of Gene Littles, former ABA player and NBA coach. Gino's from the Phoenix area. Went to Texas San Antonio, and then graduated and had an opportunity. Wanted to be closer to home, to be closer to his dad, in fact, for his final year in college. And Little skies and gets the rebound. This is Carlos Hines with the basketball and off the NAU bench. And that shot no good by DeBishop, and the rebound to Dwayne Morgan. Coming up on 5 minutes remaining in the opening half. And Marin sent Littles to the floor and then scores an acrobatic shot going to the hole. I'm guessing he's going to remember that one for a long, long time.
Well, he'll be looking at that tape, sending clips of that out on social media all over that. That was a nice play by the freshman. He's high. He is 14 games surprised up to he's all second on his team in assists.
Well, Littles answers that by scoring a three on the other end.
Back-to-back threes, and he's having a little chat with Marin after Marin kind of broke his ankles on that crossover.
Broke his ankles, but not his wrist.
You got senior on freshman there, so you got a little competition, a little pride going on.
And that's Lyons going to the lane, and he's fouled by Isaiah Thomas. Yeah, this conversation. Look at this move. Well, he smelled blood in the water when he saw the defender go down.
I wasn't sure he was going to be able to complete it. That was a pretty nice completion, fighting off DeBishop there for a 5'11" freshman. And then Littles on the next play buries a deep three on him and had to chirp at him a little bit on the way back down.
Yeah, that conversation took place down the court right in front of us. At the line, meanwhile, is Lions. 32-28. The lead has been 10. Down to 4. And the high arcing free throw is good. Make it 5.
Gino Little's dad, Gene Littles, was a long-time player in that ABA, and a little bit like Gino, could do a little bit of everything. Being a big ABA fan back in my youth where I was located, I can remember his dad playing.
Coming up on 4 minutes remaining, and this is Gino Littles. JoJo Anderson with a touch pass to Torrey Johnson. Little's going to try another three and hit again.
He's feeling it, and the SUU almost pulled off a nice adjustment defensively. That's our first possession of zone that we've seen. That got down right to the end of the shot clock, and Little's now with 3 straight three-point shots. That's the first possession of zone we've seen between either team so far.
And Gino's not just talking with Marin. He's also having a conversation with the SUU student section behind us. And there's a whistle and a foul. Morgan got the rebound.
Well, not to be overly critical, the early goings of the first half have now not scored in about the last 8 minutes.
Morgan hasn't scored in a while either, and the Baltimore native misses the first of the 2 free throws. He's a 72% foul shooter. Coming in, he had made 13 of his first 18 free throw attempts and 1 for 2 that trip. And a whistle, and did the shot clock not start when the possession began? It did not. They've adjusted it from 30 down to 27.
So Utah shooting 50% right now, and 50% from 3. Northern Arizona kind of riding Gino Little's 3 straight threes to climb back into this, only shooting 40%.
Isaiah Thomas getting the basket. Nice move by Isaiah. Only averages 6 points per game.
Remember, he had 2 baskets in about the first 3 minutes. I really liked the rhythm he played to down there. Kind of took his time and saw no double team was coming, so just took a couple rhythm dribbles and went to his best shot, his jump hook over his left shoulder.
Better missed on the Thunderbird end, and the three-pointer by JoJo Anderson. That try is no good. That would have given Northern Arizona the lead. Here's Merritt kicking it out. Now Morgan, top of the key, making a move on to Bishop. Forgot the basketball. Better is all by himself. 2 wide open, and he missed the shot. I think somebody got in his ear from the Northern Arizona bench.
2 wide open is right, and by the time that ball hit the rim, his hands were to his side, and boy, I don't like that at all as a jump shot snob from Indiana. If you don't hold that follow through, that's not a good thing.
And the three-pointer is good by Littles. And he is the hottest of the Lumberjacks, and he's given his team a 36-34 lead with 2 minutes to play.
4 for 4. Gino Little's hotter than a cheap pistol here in about the last 10 minutes.
And a whistle and a foul is called on Morgan, trying to keep Littles away from Merritt.
Well, I don't know about that. I thought Littles actually pushed him in the chest and shoulders as he was coming off of that down screen by Morgan there. I can see Morgan kind of being upset over that, but you know, the referees do a lot better when I'm sitting over here than they did when I was sitting on the sideline.
Well, fouls have been an issue for Southern Utah, specifically guys fouling out. They have 4 players who have fouled out at least 3 times this season. And that's Anderson, who got in trouble in the lane. And now Cohee goes the other way. He's the only Thunderbird back, but it doesn't matter. He rolls it in, and we're tied at 36.
Boy, that was a tough shot by Cohee, surrounded by 2 players on a full gallop. You can see now why he was the Thunderbirds' leading scorer before Dwayne Morgan showed up.
DeBishop spinning on Morgan. way off the glass, or high off the glass and way off the mark. Morgan.
Wow. You can see why he was a five-star recruit coming out of high school. He's equally as comfortable playing facing the basket as his back to the basket. He got to the basket on about 2 strides there.
Littles gets the loose ball. Here's JoJo Anderson in traffic. And now Isaiah Thomas, hard off the glass, no good. Morgan the rebound. Final 30 seconds of the first half. And it looks like Todd Simon and his Southern Utah Thunderbirds will be content to use all of the seconds remaining, which is now 17 and counting down. And a quick timeout is going to be called. 38-36 been done against the Thunderbirds from behind the three-point line.
You know, Little's 4 of 4 from the three-point line, coming off his season high 22 points. He's feeling pretty good about things right now.
10 seconds remaining. Cohee making the move. May have gotten away with steps and he threw it away. There's contact. Littles has it. And the first half comes to an end with a desperation shot. Not a pretty finish to what has been a good 19 minutes and 50 seconds of basketball in Cedar.
At halftime is who wants to step up to the plate and guard number 3 for NAU.
Well, still early on in the conference season, but desperate times for both of these teams. Southern Utah 6-9 on the year, but they've lost their last 5 as Cohee hits the basket. He now has 12 in the game, and the lead is up to 4. Southern Utah has last 5, and they're 0-4 in conference play. Northern Arizona 3-14 on the season, also 0-4 in league play.
Both teams coming out with sets to start the second half.
Nice job getting the ball inside to Isaiah Thomas. Chris Boland gets the assist, Thomas the basket. And the two trade buckets on their opening possession of the final 20 minutes.
Isaiah Thomas is pretty quietly having a good game. A kid that only averages 6 points a game. Remember, he had 4 in the first couple minutes there. That was a nice little jump hook with his offhand, his left hand.
And Marin tried to get some space with Isaiah Thomas, and the foul is going to go against Thomas of Northern Arizona. That's his second personal foul.
That's a real nice pass by Bowling and a left-handed little finger roll jump hook by Isaiah Thomas, who, as I said, only averages about 6 now with 9 points.
Jaden Cohee, Ivan Madunic, Dwayne Morgan, Dre Marin, and Brandon Better on the floor for Southern Utah in white. Same 5 that started the game. This is Better, strong to the glass to get 2.
Brandon Better has scored in a variety of ways himself. That last pass I talked about coming from Chris Bowling, I thought, well, that's the first time I've mentioned his name all night. He's the Lumberjacks' second leading scorer. He's coming off a scoreless game in their loss at Idaho State and hasn't scored a point yet tonight.
Madunic got the block. Bowling gets the rebound. Torrey Johnson, Gino Littles, Corey Brown, Bowling, and Isaiah Thomas starting the second half for Northern Arizona. Jack Murphy's going with his same starting 5. This is Torrey Johnson. There's contact from Better, and that's the first whistle against Southern Utah in the second half.
That's a nice block by the big kid there. Madunic, who claim to fame at 6'11", is his team's leading three-point shooter, but he's also led his team in blocked shots the last 2 seasons.
And that block was his 16th of the year. Here's Better on the other end, and that's Thomas swatting it away. Thomas with his second block in this game. And Torrey Johnson, it was probably a necessary drive there. He had a lot of space 10 feet from the hoop, but he elected to drive it in. And then on the other side of the court, Cohee gets another basket.
So he is a transfer from Seattle University. He can really score in the open court. He can shoot it deep, and he was the team's leading scorer before Morgan came aboard.
Johnson with the basketball again, splitting through a trio of Thunderbirds, and Thomas rolls it in, draws a foul. He's got a chance at a three-point play. He's had a nice game. As you mentioned, he only averages 6. He's about, if he can make this free throw, he could double up his season average.
It was a nice pass by Torrey Johns and a really nice finish by Isaiah Thomas. His second straight shot, he's finished with his offhand. The 6'9" junior out of Bishop O'Dowd in Oakland. I've seen this kid play for 2 years, and he just gets better and better each year, which is kind of what you're supposed to do in college. But his last 2 finishes with his offhand have been very, very impressive.
He now has 12 points in the game. He was part of a Bishop O'Dowd team that won the school's first California State High School championship in 30 years. So the Lumberjacks have a winner on the floor right now, and the guy's playing pretty well in Thomas. Marin draws contact from Thomas. Better gets around Bowling, drives in, and it's a shot clock violation.
Well, I think that was good patience by SUU. I think they have to do a little bit better job of recognizing the shot clock, and I guess Better kind of threw that up there the way he did, trying to beat the shot clock, but I don't like those little flips like that. I like a guy going in there big and strong.
Beautiful lob pass into Thomas. Give another assist to Chris Bowling.
Chris Bowling, who hasn't scored, didn't score the last game. Their second leading scorer, has made his presence known by being an outstanding passer now at 6'7". His second straight assist, as you said.
Northern Arizona has cut the lead to 1. Here's Better. Missing the 3. And the rebound battle for it's Morgan who gets it, and he muscles it up and in.
Great rebound in the crowd, taking it to the opposite side of the basket for a nice putback.
Thomas again going to work. Bowling gets the rebound, missed the shot. It's a whistle and a foul against the Thunderbirds. And that foul floor.
A lot of symmetry there. I kind of like that.
Yeah. At the line is Bowling, who averages 9 points per game, and he misses the first of the 2 free throws. Bowling so far is 0 for 6 from the floor in this game, and he's yet to score a point.
Coming off a game where he was 0 for 4 in their loss to Idaho State, so the 6'7" sophomore having a tough time with his slide down a little bit physically. This typically is a pretty physical conference, and you add in some tough travel and the Big Sky conference play, you could get wore down pretty easily.
Bowling checks out. Carl Harris has come in, number 14. This is Jamal Aites for Southern Utah. Marin sees a lane. Didn't see much daylight because Thomas was there. Morgan thought he had it. Instead, the Lumberjacks go the other way. Harris shows some patience. His shot's blocked, but he follows up and gets one to go in.
Nice job by Harris sticking with it. A little lapse in transition defense by the Thunderbirds. Normally you have a guard or two. As soon as that ball goes up, back in transition.
Long rebound tapped around and into the hands of Marin. And a foul is called on Jamal Aites, trying to keep Thomas away.
Here's this last transition basket, and what normally happens when your point guard, like Drew Marin did there, penetrates, your other guard has got to recognize that and get back, because Marin was going to be the last guy back in transition, and they gave up not an easy basket, but gave up a basket nonetheless.
So we're tied at 46. Northern Arizona has led briefly once. That was by 2 points with about 2 minutes to go in the first half. Harris muscles one up. That shot's no good. Jamal Yates gets the rebound.
Yates had an outstanding game at Weber State last Saturday, 18 points. And you've mentioned he's a transfer from BYU. He started out at UNLV himself, played 1 year there, then to BYU, then to SUU. Pretty physical, hotly contested game.
Well, and you mentioned travel, how rugged it can be. You don't have to tell Northern Arizona that inbounds pass is thrown out of bounds, out of the reach of Cohee. Northern Arizona, through its first 14 games of the season, right at the start of conference play, had traveled a total of 15,160 miles. Now, 2,200 of that had been by bus. And when you travel by bus a lot, you might as well just double or triple the way that feels and wears on you.
Plus, you get no frequent flyer miles.
That's right.
Bus.
Yeah.
I don't know of a frequent bus any program around the nation. No, travel in the Big Sky is not for the faint of heart. Everyone in the Big Sky has some challenges when it comes to travel and when it gets to conference play.
And a foul is called on Dwayne Morgan, and that might be a little cause for concern for Todd Simon, because that's his third personal foul. And it's enough of a concern that Christian Musoko is going to come into the game, and Morgan will sit with 14 minutes remaining. And again, fouling out has been an issue, not just for Morgan, who has only played 4 games prior to this, and he's fouled out on one of them. But there have been a number of Thunderbirds who have been disqualified. So this is nothing new, but nothing you want to get used to.
Growing pains is what I call that. 8 new players on this SUU team. I think that's part of growing and putting a team together.
Littles gets the steal. Cohee is back. Here's Harrison transition, and that gives Northern Arizona a 48-46 lead. And again, Littles is in the mix.
Nice pass by Littles. I don't think Littles has attempted a shot yet this second half, but you can see where turnovers have been such a bugaboo for both teams.
And a foul is called on DeBishop.
There's a turnover that leads to an easy basket at the other end. A dead ball turnover is one thing. A turnover like that leads to an easy basket at the other end is self-inflicted misery, so to speak, especially if you're the guy sitting over there with the coat and tie.
So count the basket for Jamal Yates. And he's at the free throw line, an 80% foul shooter on the season. He's been there a lot, 41 of 51. And a nice touch for the big guy. Big physical player, and what I like about him, you look at how many, every big, strong guy wants to be a three-point shooter. He's got 1 3-point attempt this season. He kind of knows what his role is and where his bread's buttered. And a foul is called on Brandon Better. And that, I believe, is the 7th team foul. Check it, 16th foul of the half on Southern Utah. So Northern Arizona might be at the line quite a bit the final 13 minutes. That could play big. Both these teams are pretty adept at getting to the free throw line. Marin, look at the little guy battling for the board. Better kicks it inside. Musoko hard to the hole, lost the handle on the basketball. Now backs his way in and muscles a shot up that's blocked, and a jump ball is called. Well, Musoko should have thrown that ball out. I think he was frustrated because he had a nice, easy shot that didn't go once he first caught it. And if you're going to come double team that post, you've got to seal it. You can't let a guy turn and dribble out of it like that. Right there's where he should have realized, okay, I've kind of dropped the ball here. Throw it out and let's get the offense rolling again. It ends up in a jump ball that goes the other way. 1-point lead for Southern Utah. And another whistle. And that's going to go against Harris. 4th team foul against Northern Arizona. Whistles are starting to come a little more frequently. A lot of calls off the ball here tonight, and I think they've been pretty consistent with that, but they have called several. Here comes that big monster defense his coach has called on a post catch. And right there where
were better caught it, he should have passed and reversed the ball there.
Carlos Hines off the bench buries a three.
Once again, a turnover leading to a shot at the other end there. Better getting that ball from the wing. Those places at free throw line extended to top or ball reversal place. You need to get that ball reversed from there.
Nice shot by Dre Marin. The freshman got in the lane and backed it up just a little bit to tie it at 51.
Good solid freshman. As I say, he and Boo Boo Woods, the outstanding point guard for Portland State, in the same backcourt together just a year ago.
Good pass, Thomas, but his pass inside to Lavelle Henry gets poked away. Marin all by himself, elects to drive and kicks it out. Better, well, thought about a long-range three and then thought better of it.
Speaking of symmetry.
Eights has it tied up with Carl Henry and the position of Utah, and that will take us to a time. Two teams that have lost 4 consecutive in conference play. Southern Utah has lost 5 in a row. Yet, based on what we've seen so far, the style of play, the talent on the floor, these.
And it's a very entertaining game here. We're 3/4 of the way through the game, and the scores all tied up. It's been a terrific game.
That's Jamal Eights muscling another shot up between that double team.
That's what you call sawmill strong there, Bill. He just forced that one in. Big and strong, 6'6", 240, and a very, very good free throw shooter for his size. But, boy, that is just heart and muscle there.
The foul was on Isaiah Thomas. Linnell Henry was also in that mix. That's the 3rd personal foul on Thomas, who leads the Lumberjacks along with Gino Littles with 14 points in this game. And Thomas will go to the bench and probably sit a little while. Dwayne Morgan has been on the Southern Utah bench for several minutes because he picked up his 3rd foul.
Morgan 2 rebounds away from having his 3rd double-double in the 5 games he has played. But you're right, Bill. He sat over there for quite a while with 3 personals.
That was Corey Brown, whose pick laid a lick on Dre Marin and knocked him to the court. And now you've got a whistle and a foul that's going to go against Musoko. And that's a 17th foul. Watch this pick. That's not fair. Brown goes 6'8", 225. Marin is 5'11", 165.
Well, Musoko should have called that out. That's in practice. That's where you stop and you make Musoko go over and apologize to Drew Marin, because he should have. Marin had no idea that ball screen was coming. That is a huge lack of communication.
And Corey Brown is at the free throw line. Again, 17 fouls now on Southern Utah. So the Lumberjacks are shooting the 1-on-1, and that's all that Brown gets. He misses the first.
Eights with another rebound. Eights is putting together another very solid game for the Thunderbirds.
And there's more contact in the backcourt against Marin. This time it's Linnell Henry who got a piece of the freshman from Glendale, Arizona.
A late call there. I couldn't believe they were going to let that be a play on, and finally just a few seconds late, but better late than never than having it called. Here we go. Same type of play coming off of this wing type ball screen, or you actually call that in the slot, somewhere between the wing and the top of the key.
Second foul on Henry, 16th foul on Northern Arizona. Marin down the lane, leaves it for Eights, and the big guy can't get the shot off, and then overshoots the hoop and draws a foul.
I'm going to get up on my coach's soapbox here just a little bit and talk about Southern Utah. Everyone really enjoys watching Golden State play because they get great ball movement, great ball reversals. That's about the 5th time tonight between Better and Cohee. They let the ball stick in their hand just for a count when they get it in a reversal type situation, and that count is enough to allow the defense to make an adjustment and get from weak side from strong side back to weak side and vice versa. They've got to correct that if they're going to be a team known for really good ball reversals and good movement. And that's, again, about 5 times tonight that's happened. Okay, I'm off my soapbox now.
Yates has 10 points. He's perfect from the line, 4 for 4. It's just a point shy of his season average. He's been a good transfer pickup. As Joe mentioned, he started his college career at UNLV, went to BYU for a couple of years, played 50 games there. This is Torrey Johnson pulling up from the free throw line and hitting a shot that Northern Arizona needed.
After we'd been bragging on H so much, that was him that really messed up that ball screen defense there. Torrey Johnson coming off that ball screen just unmolested, and it should have been H who was out there to defend him.
3-point lead for Southern Utah. Better way outside and hits the 3.
Now again, that came off of that quick reversal by Marin, who caught it there and got the ball reversed to Better, and Better caught that in a blink of an eye and shot it in.
Stretches the lead to 6, 59-53. Every possession important for Northern Arizona. That shot's off the mark by Corey Brown, and the rebound to Better in the corner.
Corey Brown, just a freshman, needs some work on that low block. That was the right move and the wrong shot.
Again from way outside, this time short. H the rebound, and the soft shot in and out, no good. Inside 9 minutes remaining.
Okay, H, when he goes up for a rebound, he goes up like all good rebounders do, with 2 hands, and that's the reason he gets them in a crowd.
3-pointer, no good, and the rebound to Marin. When is Gino Little's going to get back involved in the offense for Northern Arizona? He was 4 of 7 from the floor in the first half. He's just taken 1 shot in the second half.
NAU has been in a zone in the last 2 to 3 possessions, a little 2-3.
Marin off the mark, and the rebound.
I don't think Gino Littles has even shot a shot this time.
Just 1. That's it, and it was a 2-pointer. Missed. That shot rolls off by Torrey Johnson. He'll go to the free throw line, but he'll do it.
Step up, find him at 3, get your feet outside the 3-point line and guard him, and they've done just that. He has not gotten, one reason he's only taken 1 shot, he's not gotten those wide open looks that he did in the first half, though.
Torrey Johnson is at the free throw line. He was fouled just prior to the break. Junior out of Chicago, played at Morgan Park, where he was a member of 2 state championship teams. Coaches the second one in.
And he's a mechanical engineer major, which is really difficult to do and play basketball at the same time. If you were me, it would be difficult to do and not play basketball. NAU in a little 2-2-1 soft press back to man-to-man. They have played about 3 or 4 possessions at zone before that timeout.
Well, there's a bonus basket from Jacob Calloway. He hasn't played much, but he comes in and he hits a 3, 62-55.
6'8" sophomore from Juneau, Alaska. You don't see a lot of D1 players from Juneau.
There's Littles trying to create, and it's a blocking foul called that might be on Calloway. He was there, so was Ates. And Littles had quite the interesting growing up. In addition to being the son of an NBA coach, Gene Littles, his mom also would travel him back and forth from their home in Phoenix to Los Angeles because he had a budding acting and modeling career. Signed with an LA agency, did some print modeling, Toys R Us among the notables, did some acting, had a couple of callbacks, was on a Nickelodeon game show. And that's how he spent his high school years, primarily from between his sophomore and senior season. So he had basketball and acting. He's just basically bound for celebrity, one way or the other, and opted to walk on at Texas San Antonio and eventually earned a scholarship.
It's an interesting combination, college basketball and acting.
Well, a lot of the problems with for him is he did not grow until a little bit later in life. He was a 5'2" freshman, didn't get to be 5'10" until his senior year, and despite that NBA pedigree and the high basketball IQ, people just backed off because they didn't think he was big enough. Three-pointer in the corner, no good, and there's Morgan back into the game with those 3 fouls. He sat for a while. Can he get hot again?
11 turnovers for SUU tonight. They've been a little bit loose with it at times, and turnovers have been kind of a bugaboo for both of these teams all year.
And that ball poked out of the hands of Eights by Isaiah Thomas, who's also into the game with 3 personal fouls. Southern Utah's been whistled 9 times in this half. Northern Arizona 17 fouls, so we're going to shoot free throws from here on out.
Both teams with 3 timeouts left, which will play big in this last 6 minutes.
That was awkward, off balance, and good.
Well, I've decided if I'm coaching better, he's one of those guys you just got to kind of bite your tongue sometimes because he takes some bad shots that go in. And so I think as a coach, you've got to kind of let him have 2 or 3 of those bad shots a game because he may make all of them.
Morgan kept that alive, and Callaway gets the rebound. Back up to a 9-point lead now for Southern Utah. Morgan blocked from behind by Thomas, who saves the possession and gets it to Johnson. Nice play by Isaiah Thomas. And a whistle and a foul, and
technical foul on Morgan, which is going to be his 4th personal foul. And that came subtle shove there, and now here comes the conversation on the way back up the floor.
Dennis Flannery told us it's a Class A technical foul. And basically it's for a little extra conversation. Real Benaria and Kevin Virginello also officiating this Big Sky game. And Northern Arizona with Carl Harris at the free throw line is able to put a couple of points on the board. We'll follow the UND Hawks to Colorado to play the UNC Bears. That's next Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern right here on 11 Sports.
Remember one of the game keys, Bill, we went over early is if SUU could hold NAU to the low 70s, they would have a great shot. NAU stuck on 60 right now.
4 consecutive points scored by Carl Harris. He got the 2 free throws after the technical and then scoring after the timeout. And he's drawn his Lumberjacks to within 5, 65-60 with 5 minutes left to play. Here's Jamal Eights. He's had a good game. Better slips down, got the pass away. Shot clock down to 3. Cohee misses the 3, and the rebound tapped to Marin, but the foul is going to be called on Jacob Callaway.
Callaway just trying to keep that one alive, though. Came over the back of 2 Lumberjacks there and got the foul. And that's a tough foul this time of the game with now NAU walks the length of the court to get 2 free shots. I always hated to fault a kid for fouling on a rebound, though, because usually rebounding is just, as a guy I worked for, Rick Majerus, used to say, an affair of the heart. And that was a good effort by Callaway. It may not have been the most cerebral one, but it was a good effort.
Brooks DeBishop is at the free throw line, and he makes the first of the 2. And that's good news for Northern Arizona because he's a 42% free throw shooter, just 13 of 31 on the year coming in.
He's a big old kid. He's got 7 rebounders. He's the 7th leading rebounder in the Big Sky Conference. Not a great skill guy, as you've just documented, Bill, but he's a kid who can go get it off the glass.
Dad played football at the University of Oregon. Look at Marin faking with the pass to the left and then going hard to the hole, and he draws a foul. And that's going to send him to the line, and that foul is called on Isaiah Thomas. That's his 4th personal foul. Great ball fake.
Now there's a time where he faked the reversal and drove that seam there. Nice recognition. Marin's going to be a nice little point guard in this league. 5'11". He had started 14 games before tonight. Pretty heady player.
73% free throw shooter, but he missed the first of the two. That was the 8th team foul on Northern Arizona. Here comes Chris Bowling back into the game for Thomas, who exits with those 4 fouls and 14 points. First team All-Stater in Arizona last year. Played for his dad, Jacob, at Apollo High School. He makes the second, 66-61.
And oddly enough for Marin, his dad played high school basketball here in Cedar City. He didn't go to SUU, but very familiar with the area. Dwayne Morgan now back in the game for the Thunderbirds. 1 rebound away from his 3rd double-double out of 5 games this year.
Littles leaves it with the Bishop.
Great defense by Cohey there, excuse me, Bill, on Little's catch, taking away that potential 3-point look.
Look at the work being done by Carl Harris. Missed a couple of shots, stayed with it, got the rebounds, and finally gets the basket. He has been the offense for the Lumberjacks the last couple of minutes. The free throws, the shot a few moments ago on that one. He's got the Lumberjacks to within 3. Cohey leaves it for 8. He puts it in softly. Really nice decision by Cohey. Coming off that down screen, he curled that, what coaches would call a tight curl, and kind of threw a little lob up there. Then instead of trying to make a bounce pass in that crowd, great decision. Harris, a rocket shot for a 3-point try, and that's no good. He says his shot was blocked, and that's why it was. And watching the game, that will be a huge victory for the SUU coaching staff in that they made that adjustment, and it has really, really helped them now to this 5-point lead. Morgan in the game and bringing the ball across the timeline, and now to Marin and Cohey. Southern Utah 0-4 in conference play, 6-9 on the season. They started the month of November 3-3, then won 3 of 4, but they've lost their last 5. Here's Morgan in the lane. The ball popped out of his hands. H does a nice job getting it, and getting it to Benner, who buries another 3 from the corner. And that's where he hit that last acrobatic corner, then almost falling into the SUU bench on that. I think the harder the shot, the more acrobatic, the more accurate he is. Nice play by Torrey Johnson to slip underneath the defense and get the basket for the Lumberjacks to keep them to within 6. Now that's one that just kills you as a coach trying to build a program. You make a great shot to create a little distance in the last 3 minutes, and then you let a guy dribble between 3 defenders to get to an uncontested layup. Now Torrey Johnson, this is that acrobatic 3-point shot by Betters, his 2nd in a row from there, and then here's that drive by Torrey Johnson that has 5 guys standing there watching him get to the basket. Littles nearly had a steal in front of the Southern Utah bench, but he's on the sideline. And the Thunderbirds maintain possession, 19 seconds on the shot clock. That 3-pointer by Better, he now has 16 points in the game, 3 better than his season average. He's 5 of 14, but 4 of 9 now from behind the arc. And all of them, one just tougher than the other almost. And a foul is called on Torrey Johnson, as Northern Arizona had Cohey doubled up along the tonight. I think well played, everything about this. I think it's been a very, very entertaining game. I tell you, a great game tonight in the Big Sky. I'd like to be there for Montana at Portland State. Montana undefeated in league play. Portland State coming off the winningest pre-conference season they've ever had there. One of the nation's highest scoring teams. That's going to be a dandy in Portland. Cohey good on both. Big free throws by Cohey. Native of Langley, British Columbia. And a whistle. And again, I think the shot clock did not start because it says 30. Unless Gino Littles is a lot faster than what we thought. Because he took about 3 dribbles and the shot clock hadn't moved. And they've taken 3 off to 27, so that was indeed the case. A little short circuit, but everything's okay with 2:20 left to play. And Southern Utah's lead is 8, 73-65.
Marin doing a great job of keeping the ball out of Little's hands on that possession.
Littles is going to fire up a three from the top of the key, and the touch in the second half isn't there the way it was at the end of the first half.
Marin, again, keeping it out of his hands and then contesting that shot. Really, really good defense by the freshman.
Inside 2 to play.
The Thunderbirds with 2 timeouts left here if they get in trouble.
Morgan from the top of the key, off the mark, 2 seconds remaining on that shot clock. So even though they didn't get points, they used a lot of time, and now there's a minute and a half left.
Now a little lesson for the freshman Marin there. As that shot went up, he tried to get the rebound. This late in the game, he needs to be back in transition defense, not even worrying about getting an offensive rebound.
Morgan got a block, but then got a foul for this conference season. Once he gets going and they get acclimated to playing with him, and he can stay disciplined, not get the technical fouls and foul out.
Well, what impressed me was the variety of ways he got to those 14 points. A couple low block catches with his back to the basket. He hit one right inside the three-point line, drove a couple other ones from about 17 feet to the basket and finished it. He's the whole package offensively. Hard trap, hard press by NAU now. Nice job by the Thunderbirds getting that ball out of that first trap.
And Cohee was simply looking for somebody to pass the ball to and found a wide open lane.
That looked like the Red Sea opening up there.
And Northern Arizona is going to have a chance to score with the clock frozen at 1:04. Cohee now has 18 points to lead all scorers. And again, Southern Utah is playing without James McGee, this redshirt senior from San Clemente, California, who averages 9 points per game and is an outstanding three-point shooter.
Well, he's the most experienced player on this team. This would have been his 104th game in his career. I think any time you could say I played 100 or more games for my university, you should wear that as a badge of like a merit badge, so to speak. That means you've stuck through some tough times.
And he's McGee, 8 3-pointers per game, and Betters is a big reason why. They're dangerous from out there. He has 4 threes in this game. He's 4 of 9. As a team, Southern Utah is 9 of 20.
You can't wait too much longer if you're the Lumberjacks to foul to try to string it out.
And instead, they let Betters just walk down the lane and score.
Well, that's what happens when you sell out for a press. It's high risk, high reward, or you give up a layup at the other end. And they've pressed hard twice on that hard first trap and given up 2 layups. So it's not, it's gone from a 2-possession game now to an 8-point game.
Good second half for Carl Harris, who scores with 45 seconds remaining. And Marin is fouled hard by Gino Littles.
Now it's going to be a free throw contest here within the last minute. And if I'm the Thunderbirds, I'm putting a high priority transition defense now. I'm not sure I'd even have anyone on the free throw line. Maybe a couple bigs, but I would certainly have my small guys back guarding that three-point line way before NAU has a chance to run down and get a 3 in transition.
Marin good on the first of the 2 free throws, and Isaiah Thomas comes back into the game for Northern Arizona, replacing DeBishop.
Marin, a 73% free throw shooter before this game. He was second on his team in steals. Again, he's a nice-looking freshman.
Good on both. 79-71, Southern Utah right at its season average of 79 points per game. Torrey Johnson lost it, tied up with Marin, and the possession arrow for the Lumberjacks, fortunately, points in their direction.
And what I like, a real subtlety with Marin, after he hit that second free throw, he didn't stand there and kind of bask in the glory. Well, he immediately went back and found Gino Littles and kept Littles from getting to his shot.
Littles was open and now has to get open again. Johnson Taking a lot of time to get a shot off. Johnson does, and they get two. 79-73. Inbounded to Better. And a whistle and a foul. And that's going to go against Chris Bowling.
I thought Better had a chance to throw it up the court and continue to let the clock run, but I do appreciate how strong he was with the ball there and get himself to the free throw line. He's from Moberly Community College. You know what Pac-12 coach got his head coaching start there?
Well, I know that the answer is Dana Altman.
Gosh, I thought I'd get you here in the last 25
But
seconds.
I'm gonna give you a little caveat that he actually began his head coaching career at Southeast Community College of Fairbury in southeastern Nebraska.
That's what I get for, trying to, antagonize the best, because you're exactly right. I remember that.
The only reason I know that is because it's my hometown, and I watched him coach when he was 23 years old.
You're exactly. And there's no longer a team there in Fairbury, is there? I don't think they even have a school.
Southeast Community College, Fairbury Blue Bombers.
I think they went away.
They did. "17 seconds to go, 80-73. Ordinarily, Joe, I wouldn't have corrected you on that, but if I can mention Fairbury, Nebraska, it's got to be done.
No, I should have done a little more research, because as soon as you said that, I knew I was wrong.
There's Carl Harris getting another basket. We don't want to lose sight of what he's done today.
No, he's had a nice game.
19 points for a guy, a junior out of state. They just played them both this year.
Yeah.
And then to add Kansas State into that with all of the travel, you're really asking an awful lot. And sometimes those games against the Power Fives or whatever you want to call them can be beneficial, but sometimes they can take a lot out of a team, and it can be a rough stretch to get your chemistry, your camaraderie, and get into the swing of things.
Well, they can kill you or they can cure you. Sometimes, like you say, that team chemistry can come together. That is such a very, very fine animal to deal with when you're trying to build a team, and it can come and go in a weekend. Like I said, this is a time of year you string a couple wins together, and all of a sudden they start believing and feeling good about things. And I think SUU, I think both these are very respectable teams. SUU winning 4 out of 5 before they went on this 5-game skid here, now has a chance to gain a little momentum, and NAU's just got to keep chopping wood. They just got to keep pushing the ball uphill, and I think they've got a chance, because they've got some very, very good parts.
I think if there's any game in the Big Sky this season that's kind of set the tone for how things are going to go, and that you can't rely on really anything, stats, to tell you what's going to happen. When Idaho State went on the road in the opener and knocked off Weber State, I think all bets are off for anybody in this league any night.
Isn't that the truth? This is a